Hey, hi, people that are watching this on YouTube later. Today we're going to be reacting to how a nerdy teen leaked the biggest game ever. Let's do this, guys. It is by Visual Venture, if you guys are curious.
Yesterday, Grand Theft Auto 6 leaked for real.
The entire
What?
source code for GTA 5 has apparently leaked online.
The hacker behind Grand Theft Auto 6 has been sentenced to life in a hospital prison.
Life in a hospital
At just
prison? That's
18
crazy.
years old, Arian Kurtaj pulled off what many call the biggest hack in gaming history. And while his skills are impressive, there's
That's like a long time for this, I'm gonna be honest.
one thing that sets Arian apart
very
from
long
all the
time.
other teenage hackers out there: his need to hack no matter the consequence. So, who
Oh
is
yeah,
this kid?
that's bad, that's
Rockstar
bad.
Games' worst nightmare. Grand Theft Auto 6 is arguably one of the most anticipated games
Yeah,
ever.
it is.
Back in December 2023, the game made history after its launch trailer got 93 million views in the first 24
GTA
hours
6
of release.
is
This
not
might
coming
make
out
sense
anytime
since
soon.
fans have been eagerly waiting for a new installment in the GTA series for over 10 years now. Rockstar Games, the developer of Grand Theft Auto, managed to keep everything
Rockstar
about the
Games.
game under wraps. That is,
Yes.
until September 18th, 2022. This was the day that Arian
Uh-huh.
Kurtaj became one of the most famous hackers in the world.
The big hot ticket item, the discussion right now is the GTA 6 leaks.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
GTA 6 just got leaked.
Arian
It
managed
got
to hack
leaked.
into
That's so-
Rockstar Games'
that's-
internal
that's
server
crazy,
and leaked
though.
over 90 in-game videos and screenshots showcasing the game's main characters, map locations, and other developments. This leak
It looks very
reportedly cost the company
realistic.
over $5 million,
Why did games-
not to mention
why did
countless
games-
hours of employee hard work. But
Why
while
do-
this
why do
hack
games
is what
wanna
Arian
be
is
look so
known for, he's
realistic?
by no means new to hacking.
The
In
relief
fact,
in space is
Arian's
super
journey in
showcase, finding the
cybercrime
really
is a
weird.
long
Dang.
one, and it all started with Minecraft. A hacker was
Started
born.
with Minecraft.
Arian Kurtaj was born in Oxford, England,
Okay,
sometime in 2005. Although not much is known about his
2005.
upbringing, we do know that he was an avid lover of fishing and his family had a decent amount of money. As a kid, he
Okay.
attended a prestigious private school where he excelled in subjects like math and science.
I
Growing up,
see,
he
a
was also more
prestigious
than a
kid.
casual gamer, so he knew his way around technology pretty well. Arian had a natural talent when it came to computers and began putting those skills to the test
drinking
early
water.
on, like hacking into Minecraft to win at PvP. But while he may have started off cheating in video games, Arian soon moved on to bigger things. Through his time
What'd he
playing
do?
games and browsing online forums, Arian was able to meet a ton of veteran hackers. Using the
Oh
online
my.
alias White, he became friends with them, but it didn't take long for his skills to surpass theirs, even though he was just a beginner. Arian didn't just want to be good at
I mean,
hacking, he
genius
wanted to be
hacker, I
the
guess.
best. However, he understood
Genius
that working
hacker.
together with other highly
If this
skilled
was
hackers would make him
fiction, then
even
this would have been
stronger.
peak
So he
fiction,
and his
but it's
fellow
reality.
hackers named
But
Evelyn
this would have
and Miku
made a good
co-founded
anime.
the hacker group
This would have made a
Infinity
great anime.
Recursion in early 2001 when Arian was just 16 years old. Although most of Infinity Recursion's activities were mostly undocumented, it said that the group was known for its illegal warrant subpoena services. Using SIM
What is
swapping
that?
techniques, members
What
of
is
Infinity
subpoena?
Recursion were able to gain access
What is
to the
subpoena,
private data
guys?
of major companies. They did this by using the identity of law enforcement officers after hacking into their emails.
What's
By using
subpoena?
compromised law enforcement emails, they were able to issue fake legal requests demanding companies release data on whoever they wanted.
Unfortunately for Arian, Infinity Recursion would soon fall apart just months after its creation. But that didn't stop him from trying to
Yeah,
fulfill his
that's bad.
aspirations
That's
of
bad.
creating
That's
a
big
famous
bad. That's
hacker
big
group.
bad.
That's why
Don't do
Arian,
that,
with the
guys.
help of some
Don't.
of the
No.
remaining Infinity Recursion members banded together to form a new group named Lapsus. Outside of his group activities, Arian also engaged
I don't
in
know who
other
Lapsus
cybercrimes
is.
such
What
as
they do.
stealing from crypto wallets and cell phone SIM card swapping to make money. Through these solo
a
hacks,
person-
Arian was able to generate
Oh,
an
I
impressive
see.
net worth of over
I see.
300 Bitcoin, or around
So that's what it
$14
is.
million by the age of 18. And like most young millionaires who gain their wealth extremely quickly, Arian didn't spend his money wisely. He blew most of it by gambling online. But that didn't mean that he wasn't always trying to come up with new ways to make some cash, which is why he started to
boy.
dive into the world of business. The Dockspin Chronicles. At just 16 years old,
What is
Arian
the-
was
what is
already trying to
Doxbin?
become a successful businessman.
What's
And when he
Doxbin?
saw that he had the chance to buy one of the dark web's most notorious websites, he grew interested in it. So on November 2021, Arian, under the alias White, bought the pastebin site Doxbin from two individuals named KT and Brenton. The website was infamous for allowing users to publish doxes anonymously. A dox is when you publish private information about someone, such as full names, addresses, social
Yeah,
security numbers, and
that's
passwords.
terrifying.
Doxbin has been one of the
Doxing
most
is
praised
bad.
sites
Doxing
on
is
the dark
bad.
web for ages,
Doxing is
but just
bad,
after
guys.
3 months
Do
of
not
owning
do
the
that.
site,
Do
Arian
not
had
participate in
completely
it. Do not
destroyed
do
Doxbin's
anything that remotely
reputation.
does that.
Despite buying the site, Arian
Do
didn't
not
seem
do
to care
that.
too much for
It's
it.
bad.
He neglected it completely, which ruined many of the site's long-running features. It wasn't long before Doxbin site members started pressuring Arian into selling the site back to its original owners for an 80% discount off the price that he had bought it for. And Arian, he was not happy about this. He believed that he fumbled a huge money-making opportunity, but instead of negotiating with KT and Brenton, he decided to declare a full-on cyber warfare by
I also
attempting
feel
to
like I
take the
shouldn't be
site
watching this,
down
but like
by
at the
locking
same
it.
time,
Unfortunately
how the-
for Arian, his plan
how did it go
didn't work,
this
so he
bad?
opted for
How did it go
alternative
this
options.
south, my
Since he
dude?
still had access to the Doxbin social media
Yeah,
accounts, he decided to
I can
go on there and
understand
make
why
a
the
couple of
choices were
posts,
made.
which also didn't work.
He then attempted to publicly advertise a bounty of $100,000 for KT stocks on the main Doxbin Twitter. But not even 5 hours later, KT gains access to the Twitter account to start mocking White on his very awful internet security and OPSEC skills.
This internet feud got so intense that Arian ended up just leaking the entire database of Doxbin users, also accidentally leaking his information in the process. This leak cost Arian approximately $75,000, and honestly,
He didn't even
have
check for his
nearly
own
as
name.
much impact as he'd hoped for. The Doxbin management team took this as a major threat and decided to drop an extensive docs document revealing all of Arian's personal information on the site as retaliation. The information included Arian's full real name and his address. But what was arguably the most revealing piece of information in the document was Arian's affiliation with Lapsus, which at this point had already become a notorious ransomware group. Although those involved knew that
This
Arian
is
was not
terrible.
only a
This is
member, but
that is
the founder,
yeah.
and
This is
was completely
terrifying.
new information to anyone
This
else.
is
Arian
actually
did his best
scary.
to keep his affiliations a secret, and as an anonymous hacker operating under numerous aliases, secrecy was their #1 priority for someone like Arian. But now all of that was gone, which was not only disappointing but also dangerous. The Doxbin management team decided to take this offline. They sent a group of people to pay Arian a visit in person, going to his mother's and father's house to try and find him. But Arian had already planned for this. He called the police to inform them of what was coming, and when the Doxbin people arrived,
Probably.
there was already an officer waiting on the scene. After their visit didn't work, they chose to call in a SWAT raid on his home instead. But for Arian, that was nothing compared to what he was already dealing with, because it seemed as though his crimes were catching up to him, and in 2022, Arian was apprehended in both January and March. He was taken to court for suspicions of his ties to
Okay.
Lapsus, but he was eventually let go because of the lack of evidence to prosecute him. Although police had a damning docs document to go off of, that wasn't enough to keep Arian locked up. But the police and the court still kept an eye on him, knowing that it was only a matter of time before he would return to face a judge.
Yeah,
The only
that's
punishment
probably
that Arian
why.
got from his time in court was a month-long internet suspension. And of course, something as simple as this wasn't going to be enough to stop him from hacking. In fact, you're about to
I have the
learn
same
just
glasses
how
as this guy,
dedicated
just
Arian
gold.
was to his
Same
friends,
glasses,
the
just
group
gold.
that committed real crimes. After just a few months, Arian's hacking group Infinity Recursion fell apart, and with the entire Doxbin debacle now behind him, Arian was free to continue his path of cybercrime, but this time with the support of an even bigger team.
That seems that's actually scary as fuck.
Major tech companies. KPX5's Sarah Donchi reports the FBI is now asking the public
This
for
is
help
scary.
trying to track them down.
Arian, along with the remaining few members of Infinity Recursion, banded together to form a new hacker group called Lapsus, which is one of the most notorious ransomware groups out there. Lapsus made headlines dozens of times for their large-scale cybercrime. Using the alias White and Teapot Tuber hacker, Arian continued to keep his true identity a secret from the members of Lapsus and other fellow hackers. And over the years, these aliases would become tied to some huge cyber attacks on major corporations. While no one knows when
Yeah,
Lapsus was
I don't want to
officially
ever
formed,
have to
they
deal
first
with
became
something
known
like
in
this. This seems
2001
like
after they hacked into the
absolutely
Brazilian
very
Health
scary.
Ministry's computer system. Members
What?
of Lapsus stole and deleted 50 terabytes of data on their internal servers. Over the years, Lapsus continued getting its name known by targeting major companies, particularly in the technology industry. And despite being so young, Arian was quick to become one of the organization's best hackers, leading many of the group's major attacks. One of them being tech giant NVIDIA. In February of 2022, NVIDIA shocked the world with news that they were investigating an incident. But word spread fast that it wasn't just
This
any
is scary.
incident, it was a cyber attack.
They're saying that there's a possible cyber attack that resulted in company
Yet this
systems
would make a
being
great
disabled,
thesis.
developer tools, emails,
Scary one though,
been
very
offline for 2 days.
terrifying one in the
large-scale
online
cyber attack
space.
completely
The
compromised
online space is
company's
the scariest.
internal
This is
systems,
one of
allowing
the
Lapsus
scariest
to
things that
take
can happen
control
to anything
for
or
2 days
anyone in
before
the
NVIDIA
online
shut them out.
sphere.
Through the hack, Lapsus leaked the personal information of over 71,000 NVIDIA employees and threatened to leak an extra 1 terabyte of stolen data. Lapsus even tried to blackmail NVIDIA, claiming that they would leak even more data to the public unless the company gave in to their requests. This seemed to be a common threat that they made, considering that they made the same to Samsung, Ubisoft, and Microsoft a month later. In these hacks, Lapsus and Arian did their usual routine, which involved breaking into each company's system, stealing sensitive information like employee data, user data, and source code, and then leaking it online. After these back-to-back cyber attacks, Lapsus's reputation as a dangerous organization was cemented, and soon one name started to be tied to the group's most recognized crimes: Arian Kurtaj, the genius teen hacker who was the mastermind behind the organization. Since Arian's problems with the entire Doxspin team
Do not
made
go
him a
hacking
victim
people,
of doxing
guys.
himself, it didn't take long for the police to
Should
piece
not
together
go
his
do that.
identity. His nickname, White and Teapot Tuber Hacker, were no longer anonymous. They finally had a face. When Arian's affiliation with Lapsus was confirmed, police were quick to take action. And in September of 2022, Arian, along with an unnamed 17-year-old hacker, were both taken into police custody for their participation in Lapsus's cybercrimes. But even under police watch,
Yeah,
Arian
he
couldn't
cooked,
contain
guys.
his
He got
urges to
cooked.
hack. So while he was on bail, Arian decided to show the world.
Honestly,
just
I
how
thought it was
skilled
just
he
gonna be
was at his
GTA
craft.
6
He embarked
that
on
got
a
hacked.
solo
I wasn't
cyber
gonna.
crime
I wasn't
spree to make him a
expecting there to
legendary
be
hacker, but also
so much
brought him
more.
life
I feel like I came into the,
Arian's
like every
final
time.
mission.
Okay, I need to tell
We
you.
already know
Every time I go watch something like this, the thumbnail and everything else make it seem like it's just gonna be funny haha moment, funny haha, and be very stupid. But nope, it's one of the most terrifying shits I've watched in a long time. This is happening every single time. I'm like, what? Huh? And then I'm like bombarded by information, and then I'm
Arian's
here now.
hacking story started with video games. His love for Minecraft kickstarted his cyber criminal lifestyle. But Arian also had an interest in another game, Grand Theft Auto. Now that he and Lapsus had parted ways, Arian had all the time in the world to pursue his own personal hacking goal, breaking into Rockstar Games. But there was one main problem. He was under police protection, specifically locked inside a hotel room with officers stationed outside his door and his laptop in complete lockdown. How was he going to pull this off? If there's a will, there's a way. So we got a little creative with some of the things lying around his Travel Lodge hotel room. But before targeting Rockstar Games, Arian wanted to enhance his hacking skills. Knowing that he was probably going to go to jail soon, he wanted to go out with a bang. So he decided to hack several multi-million-dollar companies all by himself. All it took for Arian to hack these servers was a TV, a smartphone, and an Amazon Fire Stick. He used these items to create a makeshift computer to conduct the most impressive hacks of his career, starting with Uber. Arian's hack on Uber apparently cost the rideshare company
How did this
$3
even
million
happen? How do
due to
you
damages
even make
that he
something like
created.
this?
Afterwards, he moved on
That's
to the finance
impressive.
company Revolut.
That's
accessing over
genuinely
5,000
impressive. That is very
customers' private
impressive, but
information.
scary.
But he wasn't done. Not until he got his hands on the coveted GTA 6 files. Using that same Fire Stick and hotel TV method, Arian was able to not only access Rockstar Games' internal servers, but also their company Slack,
Impressive and
which is a
terrifying.
communication app kind of like Discord. There, he made a threat stating that he would release the game's source code if no one from the company contacted him within 24 hours. And they tried to call his bluff, leaving his messages ignored. So, Arian took that as a green light to leak everything. September 19th, 2022. This was one of the biggest leaks in all of gaming history. 3 gigabytes of stolen footage and gameplay from GTA 6 was shared with the public through an online gaming forum. There were over 90 clips and photos of the unreleased game, and while Rockstar and Take-Two, their parent company, tried their best to contain the leak by copyright striking everything, it was already far too late. Everything spread across the internet like wildfire, and whenever
no wonder it spread like wildfire. GTA 6 is very anticipated.
Moments later, there was nothing that Rockstar or Take-Two could do, so they decided to turn their attention to
a Nintendo hack?
Arian.
When the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, take a look at this.
After this hack gained international attention, police were able to tie the leak back to Arian, who was already under police protection on bail, and they decided to punish him to the full extent of the law. But there were a few complications with that plan. For starters, Arian has autism, so doctors deemed him unfit to stand trial. Because of this, a jury was used instead to determine whether or not Arian was guilty, and more importantly, whether he hacked Rockstar Games with criminal intent. Through this trial, which happened in August of 2023, a few things were made clear. Arian was undoubtedly a force to be reckoned with. There were only a few hackers out there.
Just because someone has something doesn't mean that they don't have intent and that they don't do it knowingly.
TV, a fire stick in his
I'm
phone.
gonna be honest
More
with you, someone
everyone was made aware of just how passionate Arian was about hacking. After the jury deemed Arian guilty, he took a mental health assessment where the results showed that he was likely to return to cybercrime as soon as he could. There's something in him that made hacking an instinct rather than a job or a hobby, which made him extremely dangerous to the public. Seeing that Arian was highly likely to reoffend, the judge deemed that he was a danger to society, and that landed him a life sentence. Not in prison, but in a secure mental hospital for the rest of his life or until the doctors decided otherwise. But while Arian may have gotten caught, that didn't mean that this was the end of his story.
I feel like that's needed in this case in a little bit. Don't do crimes, people. Don't do that.
In December of 2023, Rockstar
he did a lot more
gave
worse
the gaming
crimes.
community
He did a lot more worse than this.
GTA 6 trailer, with a release date for the trailer scheduled for December 5th.
I'm horrified watching this.
I'm waiting in anticipation for the video. However, the day before, the entire GTA 6 trailer was leaked online. It was posted on the platform X with a watermark that told viewers to purchase Bitcoin. Immediately, people began speculating that this was the work of Lapsus. Many people thought that this was a retaliation for the downfall of their founder. In response to this leak, Rockstar decided to just upload the trailer themselves to try and mitigate the damage, but it was already done. The studio and its parent company, 2Take, suffered severe financial losses due to the trailer leak.
It's really about how much money GTA makes for the studio Rockstar Games and its parent company, Take-Two Interactive. Those shares down 6% this morning.
And while the trailer leak wasn't confirmed to be by the hands of Lapsus, this next incident undoubtedly was.
Today we're going to be talking about another Rockstar Games leak.
Another?
GTA 6. The entire source code for GTA 5 has apparently leaked online.
On Christmas Day 2023, Lapsus leaked the entire GTA 5 source code to the public, exposing the game's vulnerabilities and various other sensitive data in a huge Telegram file. If you don't know what a source code is, it's like a set of rules for the game, instructing it on what to do when players press buttons or make moves. This attack came as a huge surprise to both Rockstar Games and the general public, as Lapsus had kept quiet ever since Arian's big GTA 6 leak, but it turns out they were just plotting how they would strike back. With the source code out in the public, it made it more risky for players to play GTA Online, since hackers now could study the ins and outs of the code. This makes it a lot easier for hackers to find ways to create new cheats in the game, like infinite money glitches. This could severely damage Rockstar.
You're gonna have to make a whole entire other new source code
from players purchasing in-game currency. If hackers could indefinitely spawn money, one of Rockstar's revenue models could begin to fall. This leak had every intention of ruining Rockstar Games. It was a revenge from Lapsus for what the company had done to their founder. And along with the leak, there was a simple message that accompanied it. #FreeArianCurtage. In the message, members of Lapsus revealed that it was Arian who started the plan to leak the GTA 5 files. And likely, he never got to complete the hack since he was arrested. This is why the rest of Lapsus decided to take matters into their own hands and do it for him as a tribute
I mean the people who he was under really liked him for some reason. Really liked this guy. So I guess they had a weird friendship.
Friends, use your talents for greatness because the world needs your good, not your chaos. Visual Venture. Wait, before you go, click this playlist to watch more Dark Internet.
Those friends are more loyal than like some real friendships out there. The most normal friendships out there. These guys are more loyal than that. What the did I just watch? I can't even put this into words. If you enjoyed, thank you for making it here.